There comes a moment when something inside you just gets tired. Tired of pleasing, tired of explaining, tired of reacting as if everything is personal, as if every look, every silence, every word is a direct attack on your soul. But what if I told you most of what affects you has never actually been about the world? What if what you feel isn't caused by others, but triggered by yourself? You're not reacting to people. You're reacting to wounds you haven't healed. Have you ever wondered why certain words cut like knives while others simply brush them off? Why one comment can break you while another person wouldn't even notice? Here's the truth. What controls your emotions are the parts of yourself you still haven't made peace with. And as long as you avoid that truth, you'll live like most people, on autopilot, emotionally hijacked, controlled by the invisible hands of the world. Carl Jung once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." That's not just poetic, it's dangerous, because it forces you to stop blaming and start looking in the mirror. Someone calls you weak. If it hurts, maybe deep down, you believe it. Someone calls you a failure. If it hits a nerve, maybe a part of you agrees. The problem is never the insult. It's the echo it finds inside your mind. It's the insecurity you hide, the story you told yourself, the wound you never dealt with. You're not angry at the world. You're at war with the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. And as long as that war exists, anyone can control you with a word, a glance, a silence. You'll be like a puppet whose strings are pulled by everyone except you. Most people believe they can avoid pain by controlling everything. What people say, how situations unfold, how life should go. But this obsession with control is exactly what makes them weak. Because the more you need something to happen a certain way, the more you become owned by it. You need someone to respect you. They already control you. You need life to be fair. You'll suffer every time it's not. You need people to like you. You've forgotten how to value yourself. The truth is, real power isn't controlling everything. It's not needing to control anything at all. And here's the paradox. When you let go, when you stop chasing validation, when you stop needing things to go your way, that's when life starts to align naturally. Suddenly, you're not reacting anymore. And if you don't react, you can't be controlled. You keep reacting because you still don't know who you are. You're attached to an identity that's fragile, a version of you that needs to be loved, admired, accepted by everyone. And every time someone threatens that image, you fall apart. But the you that breaks isn't the real you. It's a mask you built to survive. The real power begins when you stop protecting the mask and start discovering what's underneath. It's not about becoming cold. It's not about becoming indifferent. It's about becoming unshakable. You still feel pain, but it doesn't define you. You still hear criticism, but it doesn't guide you. You still face chaos, but your peace stays intact. You stop being a piece on the board and start seeing the whole game. Or better yet, you become the observer, above the board, unmoved. Imagine this. Someone insults you. Someone mocks you. Someone tries to trigger you. But instead of reacting, there's only stillness inside. No anger. No defense. Just a calm, steady voice saying, "This has nothing to do with me." That's not coldness. That's not ego. That's clarity. because now you understand what others say is about them. What you feel is about you. And this is the foundation of emotional freedom. You don't protect yourself by avoiding life. You protect yourself by knowing yourself. What is healed inside of you no longer controls you. What is integrated no longer shakes you. In the end, you have two choices. Keep living like most people do, reacting, hurting, demanding control over a world that was never yours to control. Or take the path few dare to walk, the path inward, into the pain, into the shadows, into everything you've been trying to avoid. Carl Jung called this individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, not who people expect you to be, not who you pretend to be, but who you are when all the masks fall away. This is the path of the untouchable mind, not because it's made of steel, but because it's made of awareness. And when you become aware of who you are, nothing and nobody will control your mind again. It's easy to talk about detachment. It's easy to say, I won't let anything affect me anymore. But what happens when life throws you back into the fire? When someone close to you betrays your trust? When someone ignores your pain? When your plan falls apart and everything you worked for crumbles? That's the test. That's the moment where everything you've learned will either collapse or become real. Emotional strength isn't about never feeling pain. It's about staying conscious while you feel it. You don't become untouchable by avoiding life. You become untouchable by meeting life, fully awake. You get betrayed, you feel it, but you don't drown in it. You face rejection, you feel it, but you don't become it. You fall down, you rise, wiser. Because now you see the game. You recognize the trigger. You hear the voice that used to control you. And now you pause. You breathe. And instead of falling back into reaction, you choose presence. Let's say someone accuses you unfairly. Your instinct might be to defend yourself, to fight, to explode. But what if, just for a moment, you said nothing? What if you allowed that space, that sacred space between the stimulus and your reaction? What if you realized their words have nothing to do with me? They're speaking from their own wounds. That's not weakness, that's mastery. That's the shift from emotional slavery to emotional sovereignty. And it changes everything. You go from being a reactor to a responder, from being a puppet to being the one who holds the strings. Let's be clear. This is not about becoming numb. It's not about walking through life cold or disconnected. You can still feel. You can still love deeply. You can still care without being controlled. The untouchable mind isn't cold, it's clear. It doesn't push love away. It simply refuses to confuse love with control or self-worth with approval. You can open your heart and still protect your peace. You can be kind and still set boundaries. You can love and still walk away when your soul isn't being honored. This is true maturity. Not avoiding pain, but being so deeply grounded in who you are that no external chaos can shake your inner truth. Carl Jung often spoke of integration, the process of becoming whole. You don't become whole by rejecting your pain. You become whole by welcoming it in. Your shadow, the part of you that still gets triggered, still craves validation, still lashes out, isn't your enemy. It's just the part of you that hasn't been loved enough. When you feel rage rising, don't suppress it. Observe it. Ask, What is this emotion trying to show me? When you feel rejected, unworthy, small, sit with that part. Don't silence it. Ask, where did this begin? This is how you begin to disarm your emotional triggers. Not by denying them, but by listening to them until they have nothing left to scream. You want to be untouchable? Own every part of who you are. The strong, the weak, the proud, the insecure, the parts you're proud of, and the parts you've been hiding from the world and from yourself. When you own your darkness, no one can use it against you. When you accept your flaws, no one can manipulate your need for perfection. When you meet yourself fully, the world stops feeling like an enemy and starts looking like what it's always been: a mirror, a test, a teacher. So next time the world tries to pull you back into reaction, stop, breathe, step back into yourself. And remember, you are not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You're not your story. You are the one who watches it all, calmly, silently, without fear. And that awareness, that still presence inside you, that's the part no one can touch. That's the untouchable mind.